Spoiler warning. The following video contains spoilers for the board game Role Player Adventures. And some whining, but mostly spoilers. Thank you. Hey there folks, welcome to day 35 of my year of solo board gaming. We are currently in the middle of playing through Role Player Adventures. It is a campaign based around the role player universe of Ulos. We're on day 7, we're on Adventure 7, and I need to correct an error that perpetrates through the last two streams. So one of the advancements I made was to the play limit. Now, I thought that was one of the advancements that you could make. When you're advancing your character, you can advance the combat dice limit, you can advance your attributes, you can advance your health. What I did not realize is what you can advance as far as the play limit goes is the bonus play limit. That is, you can increase, you start off at 1, you can increase it to 2. That means you'll have 2 bonus plays for each skill check in combat, not the play limit, which is pretty much stuck at 4. There's no way to really advance that as far as I can tell. So that is pretty huge. It means that I definitely made some mistakes throughout the last 2 campaigns. I don't know how serious those are because I rarely ever... So if it's a skill check, then instead of 5 plays plus 1 bonus play, it was 4 plays plus 2 bonus plays. If it was a combat, then the 5 kicks in. If I played it so that I did 5 and then 5, then that 6 then 5, then that is where that comes into play. There's probably 1 or 2 combats that were affected by that, but I don't think enough to really take a step back and adjust the game at this point. Just understand that I've made an error and it's been fixed. I did have quite a bit of XP at the end of the last combat, or at the end of the last adventure. So in terms of advancements, I actually raised my combat dice limit to 5. I'll now get 5 dice per combat, which I'm really excited about. And then also upped my strength and dexterity. And I got this lovely Blessed Mace for the gold that I had. It decreases a red or white die by 1 or 2. So you get a lot more flexibility in terms of being able to use that, being able to adjust the numbers on there. And kind of that's where I am right now. I'm looking at what are the numbers, what cards do I have, and what numbers do those allow me to reach. So for example, can I get to a red 3 and 2 cards, for example? To give myself a little bit more flexibility in terms of capabilities. But we're about to start Adventure 7. This is the Ghost Eaters of the Forgotten Forest by Peter Ryan, as opposed to James Ryan from the other ones. And we have our location set up here. We've got 4 random encounters set up here. We've got some XP out. I think 5 locations total, and I'm pretty sure we'll get another one up here because that just is looking prime for an additional location. We are currently, we've just gotten rid of Elsifor, and we were actually able to do really well with that, surprisingly, Elsifor Banisher. And I know that in our combat, that was not because I mistook the number of plays, because I would have had 6 plays in that first round anyway, and I needed 1 card for the second round. So, neener. After your encounter with Elsifor in Bogroot Swamp, you flee along Stonespine Ridge to Falandor at the edge of the Forgotten Forest, where you hope to find the lost Castle Carlaval and hide from the gangs of bounty hunters on your trail. Falandor's streets are silent. You creep forward with care. As you approach the city center, you are shocked to see hundreds of spirits wandering in and out of shops and drifting in slow circles through the crumbling market square. Only one living soul stands among them, a human woman with a simple wooden staff. She calls you forward and introduces herself as Zareth. Her forehead is marked in black ash with the eye of the starlit door. Slayer of King Terran and traitor to the crown, welcome to Falandor. There is something I would like to show you. All right, we're going to go to entry A. Hey, there's XP here. I think I'll take it. Okay. Zareth guides you through Falandor's winding streets, stopping only when you reach a large group of spirits gathered at the forest's edge. Staring into the crowd, you are shocked to see the ghost of King Terran among them. Last you saw him, the king was still alive, having escaped into a rift. Terran opens his mouth as if to speak, but no sound escapes from his lips. A giant floating ball with several dozen eyes emerges from the alley. It drifts over the city streets, casting a long shadow. Spirits scatter in fright. The creature's pale skin reveals bulging blue veins twisted into a white ball at the center. White tentacles extend outward from its cores. Ghost eaters, Xeris tells you. Don't interfere. I've been studying these creatures for weeks. As she says this, the disembodied head wraps its tentacles around the spirit of the king. All right, so we can observe the Ghost Eater without interfering, or we can help King Terran. And we kind of need to help King Terran because this is the mother effer who clear us. A6. Let's see. To Xeris' disappointment, you charge forward, placing yourself between the King Spirit and the Ghost Eater. The strange, disembodied head unleashes a high-pitched scream. So now we can raise our King's favor. We're going to lower our Starlit Door favor. And now we can actually add 1 stamina to our Strength attribute row from the supply, ignoring the usual limit. We're going to do a Might 3, and we're probably going to need that extra stamina because Might 3 is going to require a lot of dice. That's 8 dice for the limit. I'm assuming we're going to need a lot of red here. Yep, a lot of red. A lot of red, a lot of white. And looks like 1 green. We're going to go ahead and... So my concern is that if we go crazy on the number of dice that we pull, it's going to be harder to... enjoy our XP benefit, if we gain XP from this. But at the same time, we do want to try to succeed the check. So we're going to pull 4. That's the 4 that we've just pulled. 2 strength, 2 wisdom. We should probably actually pull 1 dexterity. No, we're fine as is. The reason I was saying that is because we can then use 2 stamina from wisdom to use one of the items a number of times. But I don't know if that's really going to be the best thing for us to do. So 2 more. That's another white and a blue and another red. And we've got a full complement of colors. Got a full complement of colors here. I should probably start breaking out my dice tray. Okay, a lot of high numbers. That's not good. Let's cover the 6s first, because those are done. We'll get 1 XP for that. The red dice, at least, I know I can get. These other ones are going to be tougher. So, let's see what we've got here. So we can combine this and this. And if we can flip that 5 down. Yeah, here we go. We've got a flip here. So I think what I want to start with is flip a 5 down to a 2. Decrease a red or white dice by 1 or 2. So this will knock down to a 1. The 1s, 2s, and 3s are harder for my character to get, simply because we can't... If I could flip another 5, I would. Let's start on the bottom here. We've got some dice here that we could add in. We could add in the Ancient Tortoise and the Cursed Hare. We're going to have a total of 6 to work with. So that we can make any color. We could... So we've played... Let's think about this, because we have 4 cards to work with. 2 for the bonus play, plus 2 additional cards. We've got a 2, but I kind of want to get that down to a 1 and then make that a 2. And I don't think I can do that right now. I can use this to turn anything into a 3. So that'll cover the 3 at the end here. So that's one more card. That leaves me 3 cards to get the rest of these down to where they need to be. I don't think I'm going to be able to pull it off, unfortunately. Got a lot of ways to manipulate. I think I've got to use Spellbook and knock this down to a 1 because I want to pick up the XP more than I want to cover everything. And I don't think I can cover everything. I can play 2 more cards here. Unfortunately, it does not look like I'm going to be able to do it. What I can do is I can try to add some dice of a specific color and see if that helps. So what I'll do is, basically it's going to be a Hail Mary, but I'm going to use 1 bonus play to pull the Ancient Tortoise back into play. And if it comes up 2 or 1, yay. I still have 1 more card I can play after that. So 6, that's not going to do it. I'm not going to succeed. All right. So no sense trying to work through this any further. We're going to put these dice away. We've failed on our might check, which is unfortunate. Which means we're going to lose the king, and we're going to lose some favor with the Starlit Door. The creature rips your spirit from your body. Wait, what? The king's spirit breaks free of the Ghost Eater and is dragged into the woods by an unseen force. His mouth opens in a silent scream as he vanishes through the trees. The Ghost Eater turns to you, wrapping its tentacles around your shoulders and neck. Then, with a sharp tug, your soul is ripped from your body. The Ghost Eater feasts on your spectral form, and gradually your spirit begins to fade. When Xerath slams her wooden staff into the ground, you are blinded by a dazzling light. By the time your vision has returned, you find your soul has been restored to your body. The Ghost Eater has retreated into the woods. Each player add 4 stamina from your fatigue box to the supply. Continue, A5. Falandor has seen few living visitors. Sorry, I should do this in the voice. Falandor has seen few living visitors these days. Besides you, I have seen only 2 expeditions. A group of satyrs set up camp in an ancient cemetery. They seek Carleval, a castle built by their ancestors. The Duntam royal family traveled due east in search of the same prize. Their family ruled Carleval since the Dragul were defeated in the First War. It would be better if neither party reclaimed the castle. A rift has opened there that would allow the Ghost Eater's passage to our world. The Duntams will surely seek to close it. I am studying the magical properties of these creatures, and there's still much to learn. Xerath wishes you luck before disappearing into the forest. You notice she left a small leather-bound book behind. Flipping through it, you discover that it is the diary of Lady Dorothea Duntam. All right, so we can get the discovery item, which is 57, and then rest. With the diary. So yeah, we're going to give up 1 of these. We're going to have to give up 2 of these, I think. It's unfortunate because we just basically got 2 of those. But we have too much fatigue to mess around. And we get all of it back, so that's good. All right, so 3 there. 2, 2, 5, 3, and the rest goes over here. Get our bonus play token back, and all our cards come back in. We can now move to another location, and we'll go ahead and... So, we can either go to the abandoned watchtower or the cemetery first. And I think what we want to do is we want to head to the cemetery and deal with these kobolds, right? Oh, the satyr. We need to deal with the satyr. So let's go this way. All right. 7-4. If you have the title Zalek's Loss, Zalek's Executioner, well, it's a bunch of titles, none of which we have. We'll go ahead and make sure. Let's do a quick check through here, and because at some point I actually sorted these out alphabetically, because there were so many of them at this point that it was a good idea to just have them all alphabetically sorted so that it'd be easier to find these. Haunted has already come up. Let's see, we got Triumph of the Faithful. I'll go here. Saboteur's Accomplice. That'll go here. What we're looking for is... no, we are good. That's not that. That's not that. And that's not that. You hike for some time, only to discover that the path has led you in a giant circle. There are small wooden signs nailed to many of the oak trees along the way, but you can't make sense of them. Put these right here. Some point left or right, but others point upwards towards the sky or down to the ground. A few are engraved with strange symbols: a flame, an owl, an eye, or a sword. If you could make sense of these signposts, maybe you could find a better route through the forest. Alternatively, you could break from the path and push your way through the thicket of trees and bushes in the hopes of finding a new trail. Let's interpret the signs, because that's going to use intelligence and wisdom, and we have intelligence and wisdom. So that's going to go there. 722. Interpretation 3. You stare at one of the signs and concentrate, hoping that some new details will reveal their true purposes. So these are not messing around as far as skill checks go. Interpretation 3. There's going to be a lot of white and red. We're going to go ahead and do 2 of each. And we're going to hope for the best on the rest. 2 white, 2 red. I have a feeling XP is going to be really tough to come by if I'm constantly redoing XP. All right, that's actually really good. Exactly what I needed. All right, so 5 is first. We can do the 4 here. That 3 is not going to be useful, nor is that 6. Okay, so let's start talking stuff that I can do. So I'm pretty sure I have a way to do 2 blue die at once, but I think that's just for flipping purposes. Yeah, that's not going to help. I have the Runic Crown, which will give me one of these 2s. Let's go ahead and get the 3. So I can get this. We could just simply add the 2 1s together to get the 2. I'd kind of like to keep that separate for a bit. We have weak. That's 2. That'll make this purple. We need one more adjustment to a blue, and I think the wand can do that. So that's 3. Yeah, I've got it. Okay, so yeah, I can do all this. We're going to use Rune Bones to generate a 3. It doesn't really matter what color. Let's use our first bonus play to make that 2 a 1 a 2. That gets me this. And then finally our class ability allows me to turn this 3, add this 3 to the 1 to make a 4, and I've got it. I've got my skill check. So yay. That all goes in there. Discards come back into the hand. And we have successfully done it. You decipher their meaning. 739. As you examine the signpost further, a few things become clear. The reason you're being led in circle is because the path moves. The signposts are not just indicating directions, but also time of day. The flame symbol is meant to represent the sun. When the sign itself points upward and contains the flame symbol, is referring to midday, when the sun is directly overhead. It seems the path moves in regular patterns that someone once charted and marked with these signs. With this revelation, you are gradually able to make sense of the signposts, and you chart your course through the woods with greater confidence. We can now rest. We will do that. We will give up 1 XP, not both, and hopefully get 4. I mean, we got it. 3 is the average, 3.5 is the average, but 6, which means we get all of it back. Hurrah! And that goes back here with the bonus play. And we flip our rest token and spell card. All right, we've successfully done that, and we can go on to the cemetery. Probably don't need this. This can go down here. If you have either of the keywords, blah, blah, blah. You hear music coming from the woods. Peering through the trees, you discover a group of satyr dancing around the crumbling tombstones of an ancient cemetery. As one plays the pan flute, another sings an accompaniment, and the other clap their hands, stomping their hooves in celebration. They place a stone at the foot of a satyr statue, and it radiates with magical energy. There is something entrancing about the music. You can wait for an opportunity to steal their magic stone. You can introduce yourself into Gruul Common, and you can join the dance. Now, the one that I'm least able to do is join the dance. That's dexterity and charisma. Intelligence is part of the other ones, and I'm better off at introducing myself into Gruul Common. I think of the 3 of them... Sorry, just got to adjust here a little bit. I think of the 3 of them, I've got to go with the C4. Introduce yourself into Gruul Common. You step forward and the music stops. Using the bits and pieces you've learned of Gruul Common, you attempt to introduce yourself. Interpretation 3. I'm pretty sure this is the exact skill check we just did. Yeah, Interpretation 3. So we're going to follow, do the same exact thing. 2 and 2. Now, I got lucky last time. I will admit, I got lucky. We did rest, so those should be back in there. Because I pulled out 1 more white, 1 more blue, and a purple. And that pretty much gave me... I didn't have to worry about color manipulation. So we'll see how this goes. But I'm a little bit less concerned this time. 1 white, 1 purple. I need 1 blue to make it work. And if... Yeah, that's unfortunate. Okay. So let's start off here. We got the 4 first. Already got that nailed, as well as that 4. And I got a 3, a 6, and a 2, none of which really help. None of these are going to help. Okay, so let's have this put up to the side here so I can stretch out a little bit. So I think first things first, we're going to go ahead and make that 2. So we can get the XP. I have a feeling we're not going to succeed here. I can use a wand to get the 3 or the 5. But I think before we do that, we're going to go ahead and... let's figure out how we can do this. We can manipulate the purple die. Okay, so this is interesting. We can manipulate this purple die into a 1 and then use our class ability to increase this to a 5. And that covers that. All right, doing well. We can go with wand as our 3rd play to make this a 3. As our 4th play, we can go with weak to make this a purple. All right, and then that leaves our 2 bonus plays to try to generate a 5. which we have the ability to... Yeah, we have a lot of abilities. So let's talk about what our abilities are here. It's going to go one up, one down. Reroll, reroll. Okay. All right. So we can add one more dice. That'll use one of our bonus plays. Let's say it's a 1. Can we get to a 5? No, we'd have to re-roll no matter what. If it's a 5, we're good. If it's a 4 or 6, we're good. If it's a 2, we're good. If it's a 1 or a 3, we're going to have to re-roll. That's just a given. I probably, in retrospect, could have done something else. Yeah, I feel like I misplayed that somehow. We're going to go ahead and add a blue. We're going to hopefully, again, 2, 5, 4, or 6, and we've got it. Definitely. So this is one bonus play to use Vibrant. If we have to re-roll, we have to re-roll a 5 exactly. Okay, 6, we got it. So this will be our other bonus play, which will be the Runic Crown, to make this a 5, and we've successfully introduced ourselves. And I had 2, and I covered, so there should be a third one there. All right, end of the skill check. We put all our stuff back, and we are in rest mode after this encounter. C12. All right. Though they smirk at your pronunciation of certain words, the satyr appear to understand you. Their leader steps forward to greet you and introduces herself as Jara. She seems impressed with your attempt to communicate, but she addresses you in Nala's Common. I had heard they were friends of the Dragul in the kingdom, she says, but I did not believe it until now. Welcome. We are honored by your presence. I am here to reclaim the throne at Carlavahal. The Duntum family stole the castle from my people many generations ago. If you wish to help us find the Duntums, they have a map to these woods. If you bring it to us, we will find our way to the castle and take back what is ours by right. Reveal title card 67. Known to Jara. You've met us. Record the keyword mission. We may now use an item, rest, or move to another location. We're going to go ahead. Should have taken that originally. We are going to go ahead and rest. We're going to use one of these so that we can rest. 3. So that, and we have to pull one from there so that that is stocked up, but we still have one left over. These two go back. We're no longer able to rest. Skill cards, skill check. Cards, yada yada. Okay, good. We can also use the diary, which we might as well. It doesn't cost any stamina to use it. So 57. You open Lady Dorothea Dunton's diary to search it for any information relating to the satyr and find one brief entry. Castle Carlaval was not made by any melder from Nalos. It was built by the satyr, a fact made evident by the complete irrationality of its layout. The hallways are too narrow, the windows too low to the ground, the bedrooms are either so large that one becomes lost in them, or they are suffocatingly small. I've never felt at home here. All right, good reinforcement of the satyr's claim, and I think really relevant, and I think we have to keep that in mind. D. We're off to D. And this is the first, we don't have an encounter in between, so we're just going to go straight to D. River Trail. The trail crosses the river over a stone bridge. Before reaching the embankment, you discover an old carriage. One of its doors has been torn off and is half covered in mud. Vines and grass coil through three very rusted wheels, the fourth nowhere to be seen. Rummaging inside, you find a music box. Reveal discovery card 96. It is decorated the same color scheme as the diary, it's worth noting. A small pig pushes its snout through the mud near the river's edge. It's covered with dock spots, but one in particular catches your eye. It resembles a, guess, black swan. Straying out a little too far into the water, it is swept away with the current. You watch as it kicks violently, letting out a furious squeals and high-pitched shrieks. You also notice something shiny beneath the mud where the pig was digging. Whatever it won't be long before it is also swept away. So, as much as I'd like to go for the shiny object, we got to save the pig. The pig is obviously very important to the story. You dive into the river and are carried off by its current. You search for any signs of the pig, finding none. The river widens and deepens as the current carries you downstream. You notice a series of underground caverns below you. Taking a deep breath, you dive after the pig. Gain 3 XP. Take discovery card 40. This is going to go in 3 squares, so that is right here. Place an XP on it, and move to location F. You're not even given a choice in the matter. We should have taken this as part of the river trail, so that should be over there as well. We are now swimming in an XP. That combat dice is going up to 6, I tell you. Actually, it'll probably be other attributes that we raise. We'll probably go maybe 1 more strength and then 1 in constitution. Let's see. Move to location F, so we're already at F. Underground cavern. You dive into the river and swim towards the underwater caves. Pulling yourself through a winding maze of limestone, the underwater tunnel eventually leads you to a rocky shore inside an enormous cavern. Many spirits have gathered here. Their blue and white spectral forms radiate with a soft light that bounces off the rocks and the surface of the water. Otherwise, the caverns are pitch black. You find the pig with a black spot shaped like a swan trampling through the shallow water. The spirit of a child sits next to the pig, laughing and clapping her hands with delight. She's not a pig, the ghost informs you. She's a girl, like me. She misses her family, especially her brother Jeremy. Oh, she's so much fun. I'd rather she stays here, but she wants to find her family. Reveal discovery card 91. This is apparently Dorothea Dunton. I now have feelings. I now have feelings about this pig. Use an item, rest, move to another location. Okay. So, let us use the pig and the diary together. That's going to be F5791. You flip through Lord Dorothea Dunton's diary in search of any entry related to pigs, discovering the following. I have asked my son Jeremy to take his sister to the halfling town of Jolev. Several years ago, a witch's curse turned Annabelle into a pig. She still bears the swan-shaped mark she was born with, but she is otherwise unrecognizable as my daughter. Jolev is rumored to be home to a powerful leader. I pray to Azima that they can help her. All right, so not Dorothea, Annabelle, random person. We can do 57 on its own. You open Lord Dorothea Dunton's diary and skim for any entries related to these underwater caverns, finding one towards the middle. It was the height of arrogance for my father to allow the caverns beneath the forgotten forest to be mined for precious gems. It was only a matter of time before tragedy struck, and no words of comfort will help the families of the fallen. I hope at least that their deaths were quick. I have contained the most dangerous spirits in stone warding circles, but I fear it will not be enough to prevent them or their descendants from seeking their revenge. Wow, so all of these people here are pissed at the Duntums. That's good to know. So we can try using the music box. That's going to require fatigue, and I think we want to use them together, 57 and 96. You search Lady Dorothea Dunton's diary for any information you can find on the music box. It would be an understatement to say that the melody that they have chosen for this particular music box is an odd choice. This tune was were originally intended as a protest against the last king. The composer, an elf woman of noble birth, was publicly executed. Perhaps the song itself is a message of some kind. Zareth, the witch who gave poor Annabelle the box, is rumored to have collaborated with the Starlit Door. Perhaps she is not loyal to the crown. That is interesting. Let us use the pig and the music box together. You wind the music box and play it for the pig. The caverns are filled with the box's strange, sweet melody, and the pig seems to sway happy to the music. When the song ends, she snorts angrily, as if demanding to hear the tune again. Now let's finally just do the pig on its own. That's going to be 91. You release the pig and immediately races towards the spirit girl sitting by the tide pools. The young girl cackles with delight as the pig splashes through shallow water. The girl attempts to hug her new friend, but her intangible arms pass straight through the pig's flesh. What a silly thing you are, the ghost laughs. The pig entertains her for a bit before leaping back into your arms. All right, so I think at this point now we should head back to D. I don't think there's anything else we can do here. I think we've tried a lot of different combinations and nothing really works. So D, back to D, back to D, 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 D. All right, you pass the old carriage half buried in the grass. One of its wheels is missing and the others are rusted with age. When you reach the river, the trail crosses a stone bridge. So we can now use items here as well, but I feel like it's kind of pointless. We'll use 57 because we can use 57 for free. You open Lord Dorothea Duntam's diary and read the final entry. For all these years, the woods have been our protector. No army or no bandits could disturb Castle Carleval because none could find it. Now the forest will be our undoing. It was the spirits who took the illuminating stone. They startled our horses and knocked over the carriage. They escaped with the stone and the map to the castle. I can only hope our children one day recover them. Otherwise, our family will lose its claim to Carleval. The forest holds horrors, and we are lost without the stone to guide us. Lord, Lady Dorothea Duntam. All right, let's continue onward. We're doing 7-3. So we're starting to get a little bit more of a picture of what happened here and the issue with the Duntams. They're not good people, but we also have a pig that I'd kind of like to save the pig. You can hear the roar of rushing water through the trees, but soon the path before you bends and the sound of the river fades. You find yourself in a small clearing. There is a young ghost sitting on a rotting log, her face buried in her hands. When she sees you, she looks up with swollen, pleading eyes. Please, help me, she says. You notice that the log is surrounded by a circle of polished white and black stones. These seem very intentionally placed. I can't leave the circle, she explains. So we know now from diary entries, sorry for adjusting, that the stones are probably binding stones. They're going to keep the ghosts in the places that they are. And I kind of want to remove them. I kind of want to free the spirits here. Now that I know that they basically were people who were screwed over by the Duntams, I think it makes sense to remove the stones. Even though, I think, and it's an even split, like strength, constitution, or constitution plus intelligence. So 7-17. You kick aside one of the stones. The spirit smiles, her eyes narrowing. As a reward for your kindness, she says, your body will be the first vessel I possess, as I claim what is mine by right. With that, she flies toward you, ungrateful. When she touches you, it feels as though your skin has been set on fire, and your mind is filled with memories not your own. You try hard to cling to your sense of self, but you feel herself taking control. So you get a bonus if your Starlit Door is higher, but it's not. So we're going to do an Introspection 3, which, okay, we're on Interpretation. We need Introspection. So that is going to be purple and green. We're going to take 2 purple, 2 green, and the rest I will leave to fate. Because at this point, we're just going to hope for clearing out some of the fatigue. Blue, not purple. So let's put back one of the blue and take out a white. And what's frustrating is this seems like the sort of thing that an enchanter would do really well, right? Introspection. Yet the ability of the enchanter does not is not useful at all for things like this. Like the 4 is the only thing that I'm really going to be able to do anything with, most likely. So we're going to get 2 more dice. Hey, we got 2 green. Yay. Did I take out green? I should have... Oh, crap. I'm going to have to redo this. I took out purple instead of green, didn't I? Okay. 2 more green. Plenty of green. And all right. So we're good from here on, and that's going to be tricky. We also do have an ability Vibrant that allows us to pull a blue die, but still. Okay, let's see what we got here. Alright, so first things first, we can cover these last 2 easily. And then also cover the greens. So that's all done. And then we've also got this 4. So that's just going to leave this 2 and this 1. And we have squat all to do! So I think the first thing to do is just simply pull a blue die. Six. Not great. I have Pickpocket, which will allow me to flip it. But what I want to do first is I want to do Grin Taker. This will be my second of 4 moves that I can do and pull a purple die. Alright, that's good. So now, I'm going to need that, and I'm going to need Pickpocket, 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 Pickpocket at the bottom of the chart. I don't know why I'm flipping that. I meant to flip this, and then adjust that by 1, and we got ourselves a... I don't know if I took that other... I think I took the other XP. So... But that is 4. We didn't actually even need our bonus plays. So yay. So we passed the skill check. The ghost does not take us over. You push the spirit back into the circle. You latch onto a memory from your childhood and try to ignore all other thoughts swimming in your head. With a scream, the spirit is pushed back out of your body and back into the circle. You quickly return the stone to its rightful place. Filthy mortal, she seeks, with her whole spectral body trembling with rage. Petulant ball of flesh, I'll kill you! Try as she might, she is unable to free herself from the bonds of the stone circle to make good on her threat. She continues to shout obscenities as you travel down the path. Gradually, her voice fades into the distance. Rest or move on to the next location. So I'm a bit bummed by that because I kind of wanted to free some ghosts. I was trying to help you out there. Say hello, babe. 2. Oof. No bueno. Not good. Not good at all. So now I've still got 5 fatigue in there going into the next round. E, Heart of the Forest. So that's going to be the other book. Sorry. All right. You enter a large clearing in the forest. Strangely, the area is almost perfectly square, with the trees lined up neatly to create clean edges. The thick, dewy grass is peppered with red and yellow flowers. Zareth, the woman who greeted you in Falandora, stands at the center of the clearing, next to a small black cat trapped in a cage. When a ghost eater emerges from the forest and moves towards the bait, Zareth retreats to a safe distance. The cat hisses fiercely, but Zareth observes the scene without emotion, carefully analyzing the ghost eater's movements. A long rope is attached to the cage's latch. I am going to be horrible. I'm not going to save the cat. I have 4 cats. They don't deserve to be saved. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, they deserve to be saved. They deserved our love. They deserved... But I'm going to go ahead and help Zareth study the Ghost Eater because it's role-playing. Boy. You stand beside Zareth and watch as the scene unfolds. The Ghost Eater approaches the cage and circles it as if uncertain about its prey. Then the Ghost Eater's thin tentacle floats through the bars and wraps around the cat. The cat hisses at first, but then stares blankly at its attacker as if paralyzed. A few months later, the cat's spirit is ripped from its body and is slowly absorbed into the ghost eater. Fascinating, Zareth whispers. Ghost eaters can rip the souls from the living. Hypothetically, if spirits were not consumed, perhaps they could be reattached to their bodies. E7. Zareth studies you for a moment and her eyes widen. It seems you have somehow gained Kethra's favor. Tell me, did she give you a gift? If you have the title Empty Vessel, which we don't, right? No, we don't. Zareth fishes an orb out of her pocket, containing a compressed little creature you recognize as a fiend. I'll pay handsomely to be able to study any others like it. If you have any rare cards that begin with Fiend of, you may return any number of them to the rare deck and gain 4 gold for each returned. Gold is so hard to come by, but I think it would be a bad idea to give up basically a one-time add 3 dice to a roll. So we're going to hold on to it. We're going to hold on to that. We're not going to go for the 4 gold. All right, so we're stuck here. We can do some things. You're curious to see if Lady Dorothea Duntham ever encountered Zareth, and if so, what she thought of her. You uncover the following description. There are many witches who have set up shop in Felindor, but there are few who bring with them the notoriety and talent of Zareth the Endless, so named because she is rumored to have lived for over 300 years. When I first met her, I was impressed by her bluntness and simplicity. Her potion shop was clean, and sparse with only a few choice items displayed for sale. She has moved here, in her own words, to be near the spirits. I am content to remain ignorant of the details of her obsession with the dead. And then we'll use 91, and then also probably 5791, because we can do those for free. You set the pig loose, but as soon as she sees Zareth, she shrieks wildly. Zareth snorts defensively. Why did you bring that creature here? She asks. The pig squeals angrily and charges towards Zareth, biting her legs. Zareth grasps in pain, kicking the pig at her with her foot. Get it out of here, she demands. The pig, satisfied, races back into your arms. Interesting. You search Lady Dorothea Duntham's diary to see if anything was written about a pig and find the following passage. The witch Zareth is known to harbor grudges. 3 of her healing potions have had no effect on poor sickly Annabelle, and so my husband has refused to pay her. I ran into the witch in the marketplace, and she assured me that Annabelle would soon no longer be sick, and would be completely transformed. She laughed and asked me which I would prefer, a sick daughter or a healthy pig. I ran home to Annabelle's side. She is fine, apart from the fever. All right. Interesting. Let's continue on. 1. As the path veers sharply left, you suddenly discover three spirits standing in the road: a satyr, a human, and a bastia, all dressed in mining gear. They are battling a ghost eater whose thin tentacles are attempting to ensnare them and drain their essences. Finding yourself caught up in a battle, you are forced to pick sides. You can fight with the spirits against the ghost eater, or you can fight with the ghost eater against the spirits. We will fight against the ghost eater, 7-7. You turn towards the ghost eater and ready your weapons. The satyr, human, and bastard spirits join you in the fight, but soon all are entangled in the creature's ethereal tentacles, and you can feel its strange force rending your spirit from your flesh. If 2 or more favor markers are on the 1 space or higher on their faction tracks, each player adds 2 stamina to their con attribute row from the supply, ignoring the usual limit. That's cool. And then endurance 3. So I have a feeling no matter what, we're going to burn through. The big thing here is that we're going to be able to rest after this. We're going to need it. Because we've got a bunch of endurance. We're going to take 3 endurance here. Get 3 green die. We're also going to take a red. A red. And a black. No, we're not going to... Yeah, we're going to do the black as well. Alright, so we got 2 more dice that we can add to this. We got another green, so that's good. Alright. Well, the 6 at least I can cover. The 1 I can cover. The rest of this is just kind of garbage. Oh boy. Okay, let's start to see what we can do here. So we have something that allows me to flip a green. And that's the runic crown. And what's nice is I can use the runic, both things of the runic crown as one thing. So runic, 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 runic. So the runic necklace allows me to flip this 3 into a 4 and claim that. Plus, I can then adjust this 5 into a 4, which will come in handy later. So that's one item. Resolute allows me to take that 4 and make it black. So now that leaves me with 3 more to go, and I have to make them all 2s. And I don't know how to do that. This allows me to make any dice a 3. And then I can use the 1. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And that'll give me that 2. But it won't do enough to... I don't think there's any way that I can really adjust it even further. What I really need is some way to do the... Oh, wait, I can do this. I can do this. So, decrease rune bones for 3. To change this to a 3. Blessed Mace for 4. And then I can decrease this by 1, and I'll get my XP for this. Spend 2 stamina from Wisdom, and that'll count as my 5th play, so that's a bonus play. To get the 2. And then... Did I use this? Did I not use this? I don't remember if I used this. I think I did, which would put me at 5. No, I've not used this. So I'm at 4. I'm lost. I apologize if you have been watching this and know that I've messed up here, but I don't believe that I'm hoping I'm right. I'm hoping. I'm gonna have to go back and check the tape. I'm sorry. I think I'm at 4, so I'm gonna hope for the best here. My 5th is going to be, my 5th is going to be, I think the only remaining thing I can do, which is to roll twice and hope that I get a 2. I really don't remember now. I feel like an idiot. That's 1. That's the 5th. That was the 5th one. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because I count that twice, because I played it twice. So this is it. This is the only other thing I can do is this for the second bonus play. A 5 each time. That's really frustrating. Alright, so I fail. A bummer. Where were we? We were doing 1. The Ghost Eaters feast on the essence of the spirits. 710. Oh, wow. I might actually be exhausted from this. No, I'm not. I am going to be very tired, but I'm going to end up adding a bunch more of these. And I'm at 17. Fortunately, I've got 2 more to go. The ghost spirit nearly rips the spirit from your flesh, but before it can do so, it consumes the spirits of the satyr, human, and bastia. They die once more, screaming in horror. Then the ghost eater drops you to the ground. Apparently has eaten its fill for now. You feel strangely out of sorts. Your head spins. At moments you can see yourself from above, as if you were floating in the air, separate from your own body. Then you add 4 stamina from the supply to your fatigue box. That's a bummer. I really was hoping to defeat them. But, c'est la vie. Okay, so we're going to rest. We definitely need to rest here. We're going to go ahead and use 3 XP, which is more than I would like. 10. So that brings me down to 7 fatigue, which is really not good. I have to basically do another skill check just to try to get through, just to get a little bit more healing. I think that's one thing I don't like, is that there's no way to just heal. Like, you have to rest, and there are only certain times that you can rest. But I understand why. I just think if I'm willing to continue to give up XP, then that shouldn't be a problem. But there we go. Off to the abandoned watchtower, where we're going B. The trail curves along a shallow creek towards a crumbling watchtower. There is a small encampment between the tower and the creek. There are dozens or so human men and women camped here. A few servants tend to a pot of stew bumbling over a campfire. Others do laundry near the creek. A full suit of gold-plated armor awkwardly trudges towards the grass in your general direction. A man's muffled voice calls out to you from within the golden helm. "Greetings, travelers, please!" Before he can finish his sentence, the man trips over a rock and falls flat on his face. His armor is so heavy that he has trouble getting back up. "Never mind, I'll be all right in a bit." While the man struggles, you notice a woman in fine dress standing behind him, an arrow notched and ready in her bow. You recognize the woman pointing her bow at you as Lady Amelia. "I've learned what happened to my daughter, and I know it was you. Don't deny it." She kicks the suit of golden armor, keeping her arrow pointed at you. "Get up," she says to the gold-plated man. He slowly rises and removes his helm. The man in golden armor introduces himself as Lord Jeremy Dunton. "I do apologize for my cousin," he says, "but she will insist on having her way. Reveal title card 68. There's a whole bunch of choices here that basically depends on whether or not you met Dunton, what you did with Lady Amelia, and so on. Lord Dunton attempts to wrestle his golden sword from its equally golden sheath. "You know, you do seem friendly enough to me. Perhaps we could talk to Amelia together." Lord Dunton's struggle with his sword temporarily distracts Lady Amelia. You noticed his satchel lying behind him on the ground, and with a roll sheet of parchment sticking out of it. So we can help Lord Dunton reason with Lady Amelia. We can grab the satchel and run, or we can meet the Duntons in battle. Now, the problem with meeting the Duntons in battle is that I'm really weak right now. I've only got 10 fatigue left that I can do. I kind of want to beat the crap out of them, though. But I think I'm going to have to try to grab the satchel and run, because I can do better on a skill check than I can combat. You snatch Lord Dunton's satchel and sprint for the forest while Lady Amelia fires her arrows and calls for help. Her servants race after you, attempting to block your escape. Quickness 3. And I definitely feel like I want to succeed on this one. So this may be where I end up using that beam thing. So 5 and 3. Sorry, quickness 3. We're going to have black and purple We'll do 4 of each. Or 2 of each. Purple's going to be really difficult to get, I think. I've got the Grim Taker that I can do. That seems to me like kind of stretching. I hate to do it because it's going to push me to 12 fatigue. But I'm going to do 1 more purple. And I understand, like, I'm hoping that I at least get the XP back, because whatever rest I'm going to have, I'm going to need it for recovering fatigue. Oh, wow, that's not good. So there's that, there's that. Alright. So what I really needed was 1 more black or green, but I'm good with this. We'll see where it goes. It is also a 4, so if I roll a natural 4, I can just convert it to that. The 6s are going to be a little tougher, but I think I can do them. I rolled low on a lot of these, and that's really the key. So these 1s automatically go in, and I get my 2 XP. Plus this 2 is going to help fill in that. What else do we got? We got a 6. 1, 6. I can generate a 3. I can make anything a 3. And I can generate... I've got this. I've got this. Okay. Maybe not. No, I got this. Let's do this. So, first thing I'm going to do is manipulate. That's 1. Manipulate makes that a 6. Now, Jade Gauntlet, which is probably at the bottom because I haven't used it in a while. It makes this a 6. This is a 4. That's 2. Still 2. Now I just need to generate a 3. Make a 3 any color. And I can generate it. Make anything a 3. So Runic Bones is the 3rd card. I'll just turn this into a 3. Resolute means I can use it as any color. That's a 3, and I succeed. Yes! That feels very satisfying. You flee into the fog. You escape into the forest. Arrows fly around you as the Duntums give chase. Their voices grow distant as they pursue you in all the wrong directions. When you are finally safe, you take a seat on an old log and search through the contents of Jerry Duntum's satchel. Other than a half-eaten apple and loaf of crusty bread, you find only a blank piece of parchment. For a moment, as you hold it up to the light, you see the faint outline of an ink drawing resembling a map, but the impression quickly fades. Record the keyword deserted. Reveal discovery card 79. And we do not have an ability to rest here. Which is not good. Worn parchment. So that remains that. These all go back in. That's really not good. Okay, so we have 1 more adventure that we can do. 1 more encounter before we get back to Falandor. Let's go to... Oh, man. Let's go to the encounter 2. Really wanted to rest after that. 7-2. If you have either the titles Warden's Ire or Warden's Trust. A crossbow bolt whizzes past your ear and lands in the trunk of the oak tree directly in front of you with a soft thud. You turn to discover Warden Mercy standing a few dozen feet behind you wearing a dark olive tunic that blends in with the trees surrounding her. After loading a second bolt into her crossbow, she takes aim at your head. Convince her not to fire or fight back. Oh, my lord. Oh, we are... I don't know what we're going to do. So, first of all, we do have to replenish these. We're going to die. We have 5 combat dice, which is good. We can fight back. Well, we're at 12 fatigue. We can take 7 more before dying. I have a feeling that we're going to need to fight back because I'm pretty sure if we convince her not to fire, if we try that and we fail, we're just going to end up having to shoot her down anyway. So, 30. Warden Mercy's second bolt zips through the air, grazing your shoulders. You charge towards her with weapons drawn. If you have the title Warden's Trust, return it to the title's deck. If you do not already have Warden's I Reveal title card 40. You are fighting ranged Warden Mercy. It's probably a very bad idea. It's probably a really bad idea. She's got 5 cards. We have no control over what we can generate. And we're going to gain... Oh, man. Rolls a dice and add stamina to their fatigue box equal to the result. 3. We are effed. We are effed. Just going to use the big dice. So we've got 4 that we can do. And we have no control over what dice. Like, we have some control. We can pull some dice specifically. But let's face it, if I pull any dice, it doesn't matter because we're gonna lose on fatigue anyway. So we might as well pull dice that matter. So 1 red, 1 white, 2 green, and 1 more fatigue kills us. We get a 5th dice. Fortunately, it's a green. It's a color that matters. We need to kill her this round. We need to actually kill her this round. All right, so let's start with the good news, and there is none. All of these are the wrong color. All right, so Blessed Mace is the first thing that we use. That's 1. That goes down to 4, and we gain 1 gold. If we can flip 2 greens, we're good. We can't. This will be... I'm going to do these over here, because I think what's frustrating me is that the spent cards over here are messing me up a little bit. So that's 1, that's 2. This allows me to flip one of these, and I think I'll flip the 4. Yeah, I'll flip that to a 3. I get 1 XP. 3. 4. Sorry, I'm not talking. I'm not saying much. It's my bad. 5. Bonus play. Fling a green dice. Please, 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 please. Yes. Okay, yeah. 3 gets added to the 5 using my class ability to make that a 6. And then the wand is my extra bonus play to make this a 1. At some point I do have to look up whether or not that pushing things over their dice limit, if that's prohibited. Like I continue to do that where I'll have, like, if it goes over 6, I just count it as a 6. You disarmor, 733. You knock the crossbow from Warden Mercy's hand as she press a blade to her throat. She stares at you. There is no fear in her eyes. I've been tracking you for weeks, she says. Letting a traitor to the crown escape makes me the first warden to fail in Kulbak's history. That's unacceptable. She knocks your weapon from her hands and makes a break for it. Without a map to guide her, you wonder if she'll ever find her way out of the Forgotten Forest. Rest or move to the next location. Rest! Rest! Rest. Big rest. So first, these all go back. We are so resting. Warden Mercy back. I was kind of hoping we'd actually kill her. And she was just doing her job. You gotta be nice about that. The discards can all go back. And we're now in a restable state. So we're going to use 4 XP, which kills me. Absolutely kills me. They were using 4 XP for this. But I've got 19 fatigue, and there's no other way to get fatigue back. Okay, so not great. That is 13 effing dice. So 1, 2, 3. That still leaves us with 6 fatigue, which is still not great. We'll go ahead and restock these. All the rest of it can go back. That gets flipped. This gets flipped. These get put back. Bummer. Okay, so off to Fandalore. In Fandalore, we can now use some stuff. We're going to go ahead and use the pig in Fandalore. So A91. You set the pig loose on the cobblestone streets. It squeals and charges straight towards the ghost. To your surprise, the spirits scatter like frightened birds. Let's use 5791. Based on a hunch, you opened Lord Dorothea Denton's diary to see if anything was written about a pig, and you discover the following passage. Though it has a fearsome reputation, Falindor is a town like any other. Pig and wheat are the primary trade, but the area has also attracted many of Nalis's most skilled healers and potion makers. Here they can find ingredients they need in great abundance. More tradesmen would be wise to open shop here. The land is cheap, the population growing. For those without fear of the dead, there is opportunity for profit. So now we're going to go ahead and use the music box here, I think. So that's the wrong color. And that's 96. You wind the music box and allow its melody to unfold. The spirits of Falindora gradually draw near. They seem enraptured by its sad, sweet melody. Use another item. 79, maybe? You take out the piece of parchment and stare at it, thinking you might be able to burn a hole in it with your eyes. Focusing intently, you achieve nothing. 79.96. That's going to be 2. So I'm starting to run into a similar situation that I ran into before, which is that I'm going to run out of fatigue. I can't overspend on fatigue. but I've got a bunch of things I want to try, and some of these things are going to keep using precious, precious items. You wrap up the music box in the parchment and toss both through a window of an abandoned shop in town. With the paper protecting it, the box remains undamaged and makes a satisfying noise when it shatters the glass. With its town emptied, this is just ridiculous. So apparently you're going to get 3 gold because you vandalized. Lovely. Let's head to the cemetery. Maybe we can make sense of what we've got here. Let's see. Abandoned a satyr? Nope. You reach a clearing in the forest and find the satyr dancing and singing in the remains of a cemetery. A stone sits on the ground and glows faintly with magical energy. The satyr welcomes you to join them. Somehow, Jara tells you, we'll find our home to Carlaval. Some of the trees here are old enough to remember. They may guide us to the cancel. Unless, that is, you have brought us what we've asked for. So let's go ahead and use the music box here. Keep a couple of others by the side. 96. You open the music box. The satyr gather around you, entranced by its simple melody. Jara takes the box from your hands and examines it. Gnomon craftsmanship, she says, nodding approvingly. Come on, give me a break. We'll use 2 for 79.96. You crumple up the parchment into a ball and throw it at the music box as hard as you can. Fucking A. 90. How about just 79? How about just the parchment? You hold up the blank piece of parchment, and the satyr gather around you. Jara brings the stone, and it glows brightly when you place it next to the page. As the 2 items touch, lines of black ink begin to appear on the paper, tracing the map of the Forgotten Forest. 97. Interestingly, the ink continues to move. Clusters of trees subtly change locations, winding paths start to bend, a little further to the left or right, and Castle Carlaval itself slowly drifts across the page. The satyr mumble amongst themselves, and several pat you on the back excitingly. Thank you, Jara says. Whatever business you have left here, finish it quickly. Then meet us at the castle. Today we go home. Return discovery card 79 to the discovery deck, so that goes back. $20. And I realize the fatigue thing is the game. Like, that is a big part of the game. So I'm not saying, like, oh, I can't believe I have to play the game. But it does get... It does make for an interesting bookmark. 7... Over here, I guess. 4 square. Yeah, it's over here. And put a little X on it. Ancestral Castle. All right. Record the keyword satyr. Satyr. Depending on how you want to pronounce it. Use another item, rest, or move to another location. We can use the pig. We might as well use the pig in the diary and the pig in the diary. So 57, 91, and 91, 57. So 91 first. Though most of the tombstones are ancient, there is a newer section of the graveyard. When you set the pig loose, she races towards it. You find her at the tomb of someone named Claudius Dunton. She scratches at the dirt around the headstone with her hose frantically. You open Lord Dorothea Dunton's diary to search it for any information related to the satyr and find one brief entry. That's right. I think we looked that up. You search Lady Dorothea Dunton's diary for any entries mentioning a pig and find the following passage. And the following passage catches your eye. There are moments when I am sure that Annabelle remembers something of her former life. She smells her odd clothes and squeals with delight, or she climbs onto her favorite chair at the dining room table, but these moments are rare. Most days, the small creature we allowed to trample through the house reminds me nothing of my daughter. Until the curse is lifted, it will continue to be as though she were dead. All right, so we're going to head to the river trail first. So D. You pass the old carriage. We can continue on to the next location. G. There's no XP at this location, blah, blah, blah. Don't mind me. The castle is made from obsidian and shards of green and gold glass that sparkle in the sunlight. The two giant doors of the main entrance creak open, revealing an enormous grand hall with an interdimensional rift crackling with black energy at its far end. On the floor, you discover King Terran's body, cold and pale, but perfectly preserved. He is missing the pack he had when he entered the rift in Sabek. Terran's spirits enter the room and, to your surprise, re-enters his flesh, causing a reanimated King Terran to sit upright, gasping for breath. When he sees you, he scrambles to his feet. Then he removes a small gold ring from his pocket, places it on his finger, and closes his eyes. Hold still. Record the keyword Carlaval. Examine your faction and see which favor is the highest. Okay, so we're going to go with the king's favor. With his eyes open again, King Terran appears pleased and slips his ring back into his pocket. I see you've remained loyal to the crown, he says. Let me show you my gratitude. King Terran produces a vial from his pocket and corks it. A lovely aroma fills the air and you feel restored. Add 4 stamina to any of your attribute rows from the supply, ignoring the limit. Great, but I kind of want to heal. But we'll add it to the 2s first, and then I guess maybe the 3. You may have heard that the immortal knight has gone missing, the king tells you. I sent him to explore other planes, and he never returned. I journeyed to Afriel in search of him, but fell through a rift to Motai, the plane of death, before I could make any progress. You saw the result. The king twists his torso and cracks his back. Oof! It's hard to be dead all day. Suddenly 3 ghost eaters emerge from the rift, and King Terran draws his sword. King, kill them, he commands. Man, how am I going to kill ghost eaters? I'm barely alive. The ghost eaters drift forward slowly. The ghost eaters drift forward slowly and slightly apart so they can surround you. As they stare you down, it feels as though life is being sucked right out of your body. The tentacles glow faintly blue and crackle with electric energy. You ready yourself for battle. Before the Ghost Eaters have had a chance to strike, the Satyr charge through the main window. They form a line and launch a volley of arrows, with a few hitting the high vaulted ceilings of the Grand Hall, but several striking the Ghost Eaters. The arrows are poison-tipped. Though they do not kill the Ghost Eaters, they disorient them and slow their movements. You do not stand alone, Jarrus shouts to you. Castle Carlaval will always be defended with the blood of the Satyr. You notice as they charge forward to attack that the dimensional rift is getting bigger. At the rate that it's going, it will not be long before it consumes the entire castle. Powerful, sluggish Ghost Eater. I hate this game. I just wanted to get some rest. That's all I wanted to do. Because it doesn't matter that I have all these extra attributes. I can't use any of them for the dice that I need to summon. Ghost Eater. So you'll see that I need 8 dice total. I'll get 5 from... And I haven't rested, so did I rest and then... Yes, I did. So this should be back in here. Those should all be back. Sorry. So I'm not sure what to do here. I'm also not feeling great. I'm sorry if I'm for squiggling around so much. I have 8 plus 6, 14. That means I got 5 more to go. And I think much as with the battle with Warden Mercy, I think I have to use those 5 to pull the specific dice I need and then try to get the rest later. Now I had 4 that I added anywhere I want. I'm going to mulligan here and go specifically... I suppose it doesn't really matter which ones I go with. So we can do 5, and I know that I can add blue pretty easily. I can add a black and white and a red and white. So I think what I need to do is I think I need to do 2 purple, 2 green, and one more blue. And not wisdom, not white, not... Yeah. I'm not going to make it past a second round of combat, so I have to shoot for the moon on this first round. Okay, so that's 5, and that's all I get. Okay, I don't think I did that great. I think I did that bad either. So the 1's going to go there. That's first and foremost. Really piss poor results, huh? So I think I'm going to go ahead and use the Fiend first. This is going to get spent. We're going to go ahead and use 3 of these to pull 3 more dice. And then we'll have 6 plays to work with afterward. All right, not great by a long shot. So first of all, we can go ahead and put the 5 there. That'll get me an XP. We can add this 5. We can use our class ability to take out one of the other 6s. This will make this a 6. We didn't need any more purple anywhere, so that's fine. We've played 1 card. We have 5 more that we can play. And we'll go ahead and start with the wand to get this to a 1 so that that is all set. We'll go ahead and use Vibrant to pull out a blue. So that's 3. I've got 3 more to go. I'm looking for a blue to cover any of these 6s or 1s. Ideally the 1. 2. That's not great. So as 4... We're not going to do it. We're not going to make it. We'll take that one out. That's going to leave 5 and 6 that we need to cover 3 more dice, and none of them are... This is not going to work. I don't have any way to do this. What I really needed to do was pull some whites. Because I got a bunch of dice I can't use here. I've played 4. I have 2 more cards that I can play. Nothing is going to allow me to pull out more than 1 dice of the cards that are remaining. We have died. We're going to take 7 damage. There's nothing I can do about it. Even if I tried to cover the rest of it, it's just not going to work. Okay, so we're dead. Which means our Fiend of Ineptitude, we could have made $4 off that. Instead, we failed the combat anyway. And I'm a little salty about that. Alright, so, let's see. The rift becomes unstable. G15. The Ghost Eaters easily fend off your attack. As they do, the rift behind them swells and grows unstable. Crackling energy sparks against the castle walls, splitting them. While you battle, King Terran races through the rift and emerges again, carrying his backpack. "We must flee," he cries, racing out of the chambers. You follow him outside the castle as the rift collapses in on itself, pulling down the castle walls. At a safe distance, King Terran looks through his pack and confirms that he has his crown and a Dragolium sack. "I use my crown to open a rift homeward from Moti, the plane of death. Powerful objects always find their way home." Reveal title card 64. Destroyer of Carnival. That's awesome. Move back to E. Return recovery card G to the discovery deck. The quest is complete. And now we should read E6. Alright, E6. Zareth sits cross-legged in the grass at the center of the clearing. A small ghost eater hovers in front of her, seemingly entranced. "I saw what happened to Carnival," Zareth said. "With the rift now closed, the ghost eaters will no longer visit the Forgotten Forest. That may be good news for Falandor, but it's bad news for the Starlit Door. We had hoped to study these creatures for years to come. Fortunately, I managed to secure one of the stragglers. I'll take it somewhere safe, where I can conduct my experiments and be left in peace." Alright, and if the entire party is exhausted, mark the death track and read the corresponding entry in the Tome of Encounters. 3. A fog rises around you and fades again, leaving you in Kethra's dark stone hallway. She calls to you from down the hall. "What, are you here again?" No, I'm just kidding. "Come this way," she says, "and look through my gate." At the end of the hall, you stare through the space between cold iron bars at a vast emptiness beyond. A pale speck of light hovers alone, deep in the void. The goddess pulls another marble from her bag and places it in your hand. "Be careful with this one," she tells you. The creature inside does not struggle, but stares into your eyes and smiles. You thank the goddess as you fade from her presence. She nods and looks nervously through her gate. Fiend of Chaos. For 3 black dice. If you have the keyword passage, increase each player's health by 2. Recover. Roll 1 die. And remove all XP. 6. Thank you. Thank you. Alright. Roll 1 die. And this time this is going to determine how much stamina we get to remove. We get to remove all but 6. Which is great. Each player remove all bonus play tokens from the box. Fill up your attribute rows to their limits. Technically, it does not say remove. So we're still going to fly high with some extra bonuses there. Flip your class ability card face up. Return all spent cards to your hand. Record the keyword passage. If you have just completed an encounter, move to the next location on your path. If your party marker is already at a location, read the base entry for that instead. So we're at E. And we have to erase Carnival as a keyword. All right. If you have the keyword study, a large, enormous, blah, 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 blah. All right, so the question is, do we just want to skip to the end? Because I have not figured out what to do with any of this stuff. And I don't think we do. I think we want to figure out what's going on here. So let's go to B first. Because B, we didn't get to try to do anything. B, we got kind of chased out. If you have either the keywords deserted or duntum, so we're going to go to B2. A shallow creek leads to the crumbling edifice of a watchtower, though the camp remains, the Duntham family are nowhere to be found. We can go ahead and use some items. We'll go ahead and use 5791 and then 5791, because that is our way. 5791. Lady Amelia rushes over to the pig. Annabelle, she exclaims. You hand the diary to Jeremy Duntham, who studies it carefully. I don't think that this is supposed to be what happens. Yeah, I mean, I can continue to read it, but it's just it makes no sense. 57, 57, 91, and 91 are basically returning Annabelle to the Dunthams, but the Dunthams aren't here. Are we not able to use an item? Is that what's going on? Did I just sort of assume that we could use an item and... Oh, we cannot use an item here. We can't use an item here. That's why I'm seeing those messages, but that doesn't actually work. So we're going to have to go to the heart of the forest, maybe? I'm trying to think of where we haven't used anything, but I think because the castle's gone, I think that we are dead in the water now. So all of these can go back in. We are done with this adventure. Let's go ahead and read the end. As soon as I put away all of these modifiers. I think part of me wants to go back through and play this again, solely because I've now missed out on a fair amount of content because I'm not very good at this game. So that's going to be interesting. I'm obviously not going to do that as part of these playthroughs, but I kind of want to go back and see what happens if you manage to defeat the castle, or if you play as a Dragul the entire time. But I feel like I missed out on so much in this particular thing. Let's go ahead and before we do anything else, let's do E91. Let's see if we did E91 before. E96 maybe? Let's just burn our fatigue, because the fatigue at the end of the adventure does get reset. So we'll do 91, 96 maybe. Yeah, there's nothing. That's not going to do anything. We'll do 91, 57, 96. Yeah, nothing there. I'm not going to go through and read these whole things. 57, 91, and 57. We've done those. Let's go back to the cemetery, maybe. Let's go back to the underwater cavern, see what happens there. Other than the soft light emanating from the spirits who gather here, the caverns are pitch black. You can use an item, rest, or move to another location. So let's use the music box, maybe. That's not going to generate anything. 5791, maybe. Yeah, nothing is popping up here. I know it's bad form to just sort of flip through the book, but nothing. I'm not seeing anything that really makes me feel like I'm going to gain anything from this. So let's go to the end. All right. Your adventure in the Forgotten Forest has come to a close, and your attention turns to three pressing facts. First, you are wanted for the murder of King Taran. Second, the king is in fact alive and well. And third, he seems to have little interest in having his identity revealed to the world. Strangely, he's asked you and everyone else who's seen him to keep his return a secret. I understand this puts you in a difficult position, the king tells you, but you must trust me. And now we're going to look for keywords. Yeah, I mean, I've got squat here. Stories circulate amongst the townspeople about rifts to other worlds. Other tales spread of cautious, strange folk who came to town and opened the rift on purpose, destroying Castle Carlaval with foul magic. Stories have spread amongst the townspeople of the satyrs' return to the Forgotten Forest, their ancestral homeland. Having never seen a satyr themselves, The tales that spread are based on the vivid imagination of the locals. Jara, in one account that you overhear, is described as a 7-foot tall beast with a goat's head and wings like a dragon. This image, of course, bears no resemblance to the satyr leader you encountered. When word spreads that you met Lord Jeremy Duntham, a number of locals begin following you through town, asking you questions about the man's physical prowess based on rumors that have spread throughout Falandor. Is it true that he can crush a man's skull with his bare hands? One of them asks you. I've heard that he sliced off the heads of 3 satyr warriors with a single blow, another says. They refused to leave you alone until you give a brief account of Lord Duntham's appearance and mannerisms. They appear disappointed by your candid descriptions. Conclusion. Which of your faction tracks is the highest? We are going to go to End 1. You and King Terran travel together for many days and many nights. You avoid major cities and inns, choosing instead to sleep in a tent far from the road so that your party is not discovered. In time, the king tells you, I will reveal myself, and you will have my pardon. But for now, it is best that my enemies believe me dead, or else lost in another world. By noon, the next day, you smell the sea air and hear strange music. That song, says Terran grimly, means they've already begun their spells. He points to the horizon where you see dragons circling a distant peak. Verandor, Queen of Dragons, is here with her brood. It's our job to silence their song. And that is the end of the adventure. Thank you for joining me. I will be back again tomorrow with Adventure 8, and hopefully I will do better. Ciao, everybody.